Questo ti dà forse questo ma non è che ti dispiace molto invece. No? Se ti dispiace molto te, fa no, no, devo domandare. Però facciamo così. Poi ti mando il link. Guarda, quelli a fine dei 10. Ma anch'io 10. Yeah.
Yeah, easy. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, come on. Come on. Ooh. Ooh. That's strong, Gene. Uh, 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 uh. Uh, 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 oh. Okay, so chest. The fundamentals of training chest. Now, this is going to be one of the easier ones. This and arms, but chest is going to be one of the easier videos because chest, quite simply, is made up of your upper chest and your, well, your mid chest, really. When people say lower pec, I'm not saying you can't develop the lower part of your pec, but anatomically, it isn't split away from your mid pec, if you know what I mean. So yes, the development is separate because I just think stressing out the muscle, it does take specific tension to stimulate different parts of the chest, but it isn't a different attachment, if that makes sense. So the fundamentals of training chest for me is, don't be in the gym too long doing too many movements. It's a smaller muscle group. It's not a small muscle group, but it's a smaller muscle group. And I would say it's a medium-sized muscle group in the grand scheme of things. You need to hit it hard and heavy, and you need to make sure that the accuracy of what you're doing is spot on. Whereas you've already seen my back video and you've seen my leg video. Now, I train those pretty accurately, but I'm an advanced lifter. Well, an expert lifter, I would like to say. I'm an expert lifter. I've been doing this a decade. For beginners to intermediate, if you go in and do a leg press and you put your feet in the middle of the pad and you just execute that really well, you will grow. So the need for me to give you more cues than that, to say, put your legs higher and wider to do this and that, put your legs lower and narrower to do this and that, blah, 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 blah. It isn't a necessity for you to develop because you're a beginner. Chances are you haven't reaped all the rewards from just doing the very, very basics really well yet. Once you get past that point where the very, very basics aren't working anymore, that's when you fall into more niche categories and you go, right, I need to manipulate this angle. With chest, I think the simpler you keep it, the more intense you can make it within that realm of simple. I think that's the best thing to do, because I think with such big, robust muscle groups like legs and back, you can kind of just throw stuff at it, and one thing or another will grow if the weight you're using is heavy enough. Something will grow because it's such a large collection of body parts. With chest, if I said to you, what do you think the heaviest movement you could do on chest is? If you had to run it up, what's the heaviest thing you could do? You're going to probably tell me a bench press or bench press machine, flat, probably flat for most people, maybe incline. Then you're going to tell me, or I can do dumbbells, which again is just flat or incline. So in terms of plane of movement, you've got two options. You've got incline or you've got flat. In terms of throw in a lot of heavy weight at your chest, that's your option, because a heavy fly is not useful. And I'm getting really controversial now. A heavy fly, and when I say heavy, I mean heavy relative to you. When you're at the point, a heavy fly, I mean you're psyching yourself up and you're putting as much weight on that thing as you can possibly move from A to B. When I tell you to do that with a bench press, if you do that and pin your shoulders back properly, and then when you're starting to fail, you put your shoulders into it a little bit just to get the bar up, I think you've still executed a very good set. As long as that's not every rep, as long as that's towards the end of the set, I think you've done very well. With a fly in ultimately for me is a movement that you use to, it's an accent on the rest of the session. It isn't a movement that is going to, I'm not saying it's not gonna build your chest up, but if you go into a session and go, right, my main movement today for muscle building today is a chest pec fly. I'm sorry, the amount of weight that you would need to stimulate the necessary growth to overtake a bench press, it's impossible for you to do that. It's impossible for you to do that. For you to put that much weight on, first of all, you're going to be using your shoulders and other stabilizing muscles to make sure that weight moves from A to B, which means you're immediately taking out the same level of stimulus in that movement anyway that you should have. Then when you compare that to a bench press, again, the amount of weight you could load on a bench press, if I could load 100 kilo on a bench press with good form and I get 8 reps out of it as my max, and I tell you, right, go on a fly and do 100 kilo fly for 8 reps, I'm sorry, even if you could move it, you're not moving that with your shoulders pinned back, all chest. You're not going to do that. And if you're capable of doing that, I guarantee you're capable of doing twice as much on a bench press. There's no way. So the fundamental, this is a very long way to say, chest needs to be simple. Anybody with a huge chest that tells you otherwise, they've done a lot of unnecessary stuff to get to the same place that somebody with a great, another person with a great chest has done. The people I know with great chests, they do maybe 4 chest movements, which is what I do. You do, wow, I do 3 at the moment, but you should do 4. But I'm in the recovery phase. But you should do an incline, you should do a flat, you should do a fly, and you should do a decline. So you can get your stimulus in the lower pec, you can get it on the side of your pec, you can get it in the middle of your pec, and then you can get it on your upper pec. That's what you need. Anybody who says you need more, and anybody who says you need more exercises than that, you're not maximizing the exercises that you're doing, because the muscle group is not big enough to have the sort of muscular endurance that your legs might have or your back might have, where you're doing 7 or 8 movements. Again, the back is made up of so many individual muscles that make up the back, as does the legs. You could do the same plane of movement with a slightly different angle and hit 2 completely different isolated muscles. With your chest, you're not doing that. If I maximize and exhaust on an incline, there's no other angle that will hit the same area that I haven't already exhausted. I really hope this makes sense, because I'm going on a rant now and I'm getting myself upset. The only reason this one, so I'm always so passionate about talking about chest, is because, first of all, I have a very good chest. Relative to the rest of my physique, I have a very good chest. And people ask me all the time, what do you do for your chest to grow? And I say, this is what I do. Da, da, da. And they're like, oh yeah, it must be your genetics. Because I'm like, no! Anybody with a good chest, forget genetics. Anybody who has developed their chest, or let's say improved their chest 10 times. Yeah, because that's a better barometer. Because for me to say that my chest started in the same place that someone else's did is not incredibly true. Again, my genetics are very good. So yes, genetically I have a very good chest. But let's say somebody who has a cardboard flat chest and they've managed to grow 10 times better. I guarantee you that these sorts of people, the fundamentals that they've followed are, I need to do a heavy incline, a heavy flat, a heavy fly, and a heavy decline. That's it. Anything more, again, I'm not saying you can't do more to have fun. I'm not saying if you go to the gym and you end up doing more machines than that and you're like, oh yeah, I just want to try everything. And my session, I like being in the gym. I like feeling good, and I like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that either, by the way. I don't want to get the wrong point across and tell you guys that you're not allowed to do more than 4. I'm saying for you to maximize your training and keep and do what's absolutely necessary so you're not in the gym too long, you only need 4 chest movements. Anybody who tells you anything else, you're not maximizing your training. You're not maximizing your training. I don't care what anyone, no one's going to tell me different. And I'm a very open-minded person generally. Sometimes facts are just facts. You are not maximizing your training if from an incline chest press movement, you then go to another incline chest press movement, the same plane of movement, but a different machine, and you're like, oh yeah, I've got more in the tank to do this and that at a really good level. Cool, you didn't maximize the first time. If you had exhausted the first time, there's no chance that you are able to do that. There isn't. Anyway, sorry, that was a rant more than advice, I guess. But fundamentals: upper, mid, lower, side. So a fly, a incline press, a flat press, and then a decline press. That's all you need. That's all you need. Or again, I keep saying pressing. You don't have to press your decline. You can do dips. You can do body weight dips or weighted dips, or you can do cable pull downs or cable flies. But aim it towards the floor. Aim to meet your hands towards the floor as opposed to in front of you or up high. The reason I'm explaining this one a little bit more is because it's not going to be in the video, because I don't do decline at the moment. But yeah. So the fundamentals, that's it. 4 movements. 4 movements is all you need. Whether you're bulking, whether you're cutting, whether you're, I don't know, whether you have a great chest, whether you have a not good chest, it doesn't matter. 4 movements is what you need. 4 movements is all you need. That's it. And I'll listen to the arguments of the people who say otherwise, but I'm telling you up front, I find it very hard to believe you're gonna, I don't think you're gonna convince me otherwise. I just don't think so. I've seen guys with not very good chest blow their chests up just from doing those 4 patterns really well, as opposed to the guys who are doing 8. So you're doing everything twice. So you're doing 8. You're doing twice as much. You're in the gym twice as long, and you're doing everything at 50% intensity of the person who was doing it before. It just doesn't make sense. Wow, that was intense. So sorry for that. Hope you enjoyed it. Next video will be shoulders or arms. I don't know in which order I'll record it is the thing, because I'm going to be traveling. I'm going to be on holiday and stuff, so I don't know which session I'm going to record first. Maybe shoulders, just because I think it's a little bit more interesting, and then we'll finish off on arms. But thank you for watching. Please turn on your bell notifications so that you can watch the videos as soon as they come out. Please like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Share this video with your friends and family and whoever else you might think if you think they might benefit from it. And I'll see you guys next time.